Jackson keeps, gets it, and goodbye. Touchdown, Lamar Jackson, right up the gut. And welcome back to number 8. 37 yards on 4th and 2. Dalton end zone, pass is caught. Flag on the play, touchdown Gallup. For 200 yards rushing are the Ravens in the ballgame. 3rd time this season, end zone, and caught for the touchdown. What a grab by Brown.
The great Joe Buck with the call for Fox and NFL Network. It was a performance by the Ravens that evoked memories of a year ago, as Baltimore ran for nearly 300 yards on the ground in a 34-17 win over the Dallas Cowboys, a Cowboys team that looked like they are ready to go home for the winter. Yes, it is our Tuesday Night Football recap, and joining me is the great Mark Sessler. Mark, you are a Browns fan. You are riding high. You're 9-3. You know what's coming up next week. It's the Baltimore Ravens. And are you a little bit nervous right now about what you saw from the Ravens tonight?
I think I'd be more nervous. I think number one, it was a get-right game, and they got right. So they did what they would want to do and what they were asked to do. The ground game looks potent. But I feel like you played a Cowboys team, as you said, that is ready for a long winter's nap. I think it's a bit embarrassing to have Orlando Brown roll into the end zone and scream to a cameraman, "Easy money." And I think that from the outset, it looked like the Cowboys' defensive line and linebackers were so out of position that I had to ask if they had taken generous tabs of psilocybin before the game. I mean, they seemed completely out of any sort of a game plan, poorly coached, and the Ravens took total advantage of it, ran roughshod, and that's their strength. I don't trust the Ravens through the air, but I do trust them on the ground. And I mean, they had 4 30-plus yard plays in the first half alone to 0 for the Cowboys, and 3 of those came on the ground. So they are dangerous in that area as ever.
Yes, you have to keep in mind that this is the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have been dreadful on defense all season. But I do think that the Ravens had been going through a really tough 6-week stretch. They started out 5-1, and then things have gone sideways. They had the COVID disaster a week and a half ago, riding a 3-game losing streak. And sometimes you just need the get-right game to get your swagger back a little bit. And I'm trying not to let my analysis from our prior podcast overly shade this situation, because I predicted, as you did actually, that we both see the Ravens going on a big run here to close the season. But this basically, I'm glad I said that before this game, because now that feels almost like an obvious prediction to make, because they just had this, it seemed like they had their swagger back. And yes, Orlando Brown yelling "easy money" into the camera as Fox goes to break. Troy Aikman, the Cowboys legend turned color man with Buck, says the following: "I just don't know where this organization goes," as Tuesday's Gone by Skinnerd plays them out to break. It felt like a super low moment for the Cowboys for some reason, even though they already were dead entering this game. Now they're 3-9, and by the way, we get to fork another team, Mark, in one of our recaps. Goodbye, Cowboys. And Andy Dalton's playing for Dak Prescott. They were never going to go anywhere this year at this point, but it just felt like a dark cloud is over this organization right now.
Yeah, I think they have a big decision, and we've mentioned this, I think, prior to others to some degree, the future of Mike McCarthy, and we don't need to dwell on it. We've talked about it before, but Jerry Jones, are you going to simply confirm your decision from a year ago to hire him and make no moves, or take a deep look at this? I think the team has been poorly coached all year, but beyond that, it's the one team that I think about, and Troy Aikman pointed to this too, and I think that I kind of enjoy the irritated Troy Aikman, because I think it gets more irritated at the Cowboys than anything else, because there's a lot of pride there. And
I like that it's real, because
it's
Troy, at his heart, he's a cowboy. He'll always be a cowboy, and he doesn't run from that.
No, I'm with you. I think it's when you see genuinely raw emotion and analysis and irritation from him, and he called the Cowboys out, especially on that last Ravens touchdown march where they just rolled through Dallas's defense. as players that look like they've given up. And I think that has something to do with the fact that they've not bought into the scheme on defense specifically. They got a little bit better, I thought, in the sort of second third of the season where you saw them tighten up a bit, but slightly a mirage. I mean, the holes that were open for Baltimore to run through tonight. And, we saw Cleveland run for 300 plus yards on this defense too. So it's not an aberration. This is a terrible defense. Baltimore, that said, I don't discredit teams for beating up on lesser competition. That's what Baltimore did. I'm with you in the sense that they can feel good about this game. They've got a huge matchup with Cleveland. It's going to look different than week one. I do think these are two different teams, but the Ravens are not the team that just got pounded by the Steelers with RG3. Lamar is back. He looked healthy. He looked good. And I think that this team, according to our predictions, so we already know the result, are vying for the postseason. I would not take them lightly at all. I don't think anyone is.
Yeah. Sad situation for the Ravens with Des Bryant. Hasn't he had a really bummer end of his career? This was one of the reason Des is always being written about is that he was such an electrifying player in the last decade, and he was such a fun player to watch, and he was doing it all on quote-unquote America's team. He gets back into the league last year and gets signed to the Saints, and right when he's going to be activated, he blows his Achilles. This year, he catches on with the Ravens, he plays, he's not a major player on the team, but he has a role. He gets out on the field bright and early today because he's playing the Cowboys, and then he gets told, "Oh, you have COVID," and he gets pulled off the field. I thought that was a little bit of a sad postscript to his career for one of the more exciting players during our shared run at NFL Media.
Yeah, and it's and because they're so close to the testing facility, they're getting results at a different time than other teams, and so he found out at an inconvenient time. And, he tweeted at one point, he tweeted a bunch, but at one point he tweeted, I'm just going to sit back and drink a glass of wine, which I think of most of America could relate to in 2020 to some degree. But there were also images of him hugging all sorts of Cowboys personnel and players. So I don't know. It's another very foggy corona issue that I thought raised questions, but that's apparently above our pay grade. Many things are above our pay grade. That's not hard to accomplish.
That is another snapshot of corona life in America. It is often hard to decipher what is going on. All right, there we go. Any other thoughts? We're cool with forking the Cowboys at 3-9. It's a little bit late to the game, but given the shape of that division, 3-8 seemed like a chance to still have a play, but now you have the Cowboys, now you have the Giants and Washington thriving, so Cowboys are done.
Yeah, and I think that, when we fork a team, they should just pack it up and go home. I don't know why they continue to play games when we do that, because our batting average is pristine. It's 1,000. We are essentially a voice of God on that front, so...
Well, that's why, and at the risk of making light of the situation, that's why Santa Clara shut down contact sports.
Sure.
So
there's no reason to have them.
Why risk it when Dan and Mark had already forked the 49ers anyway? There's no reason to continue playing. So now that the word has gone out in Dallas, we'll see what happens with the Cowboys the rest of the way.
I trust the Dallas-Fort Worth civic community to follow suit, just as Santa Clara did. I mean, local governments listen to this show, and they take orders from it. More people should.
In general, you and I should just fork teams, and for once it has some teeth. And then as soon as they're forked, you shut the whole thing down. It's our own version of the bubble. It's the fork bubble. We're
doing a service, and it's a good service, and more people should praise the work we're doing while I'm here. I feel so.
I believe. I'm with you on that, Mr. Sessler. All right, Ricky. We're gonna shut this thing down. Did you have anything to add before we sign off?
I have one point that I think really, really needs to be said.
Okay.
That you said this was going to be 90 seconds, and it wasn't.
That was close enough. What, about 10 minutes? And may I add that with you, you were in front of a Christmas tree. There's stockings behind you. You look like the girl next door. I mean, what a sweetheart.
Thank
You
you.
appear to be behind the virtual glass tonight.
Yeah, gonna cozy up with some hot cocoa, maybe throw on a Christmas movie. It's getting around that time.
What
Hot
is
cocoa is definitely code for something else. I can promise you that, listeners.
what is your favorite Christmas movie, Ricky?
I like the Kris Kringle, the animation kind of 3D one where he saves Christmas, and the guy that hates Christmas, the mayor. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Like I missed that
when
one.
Santa Claus comes to town.
It's a good raging classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you, Mark?
Christmas movie? Eyes Wide Shut, hands down.
Wait.
Go watch it. It is a quintessential Christmas film. All its imagery.
You think Mark's kidding, but it's true. Like if Mark had one path to take in life, it was like you need to inhabit one Stanley Kubrick movie. It's absolutely Eyes Wide Shut. And I don't even need to tell you anything else other than Mark is running into that life scenario.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, I wouldn't disagree.
The preeminent Christmas movie is A Christmas Story, starring Peter Billingsley. I won't hear anything else, but that's it.
Nice.
Very solid choice.
You'll keep your eye out, kid. All right, that's it. Next time you hear from us, it will be Thursday when we. Oh my God, it just never stops. The Week 14 preview when we preview all the games to come.
So tired.
And we'll have a second show on Thursday as well. Greg and a mystery guest of some kind will recap the Rams and Patriots, a game we previewed on a different podcast we did today. That's a lot of content. Like Ricky said, please go over to Apple, your iTunes, and rate us 5 stars, leave a review. It's all we ask in return. That's the currency we request. Mark asked for Venmo. The rest of us are above the board. Just give us a star rating and a comment. Okay.
Pay me.
This is
and if you're listening, it was supposed to be 90 minutes. It was supposed to be 90 seconds. It's going to be 90 minutes. It's supposed to be 90 seconds, but now, it's past that. If you've made it this far into the show, just tweet at Greg and Greg alone, #Nirvana. That's all you have to do is text, or if you have his number, text him, but tweet #Nirvana at Greg Rosenthal.
Would you like to give his phone number out?
Sure.
Yeah, do it twice. I don't know, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. And he might end up muting the word like I did with Godzilla. So maybe do hashtag and then space out the word Nirvana.
I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he'll even know to do that. He'll be like, oh, this is annoying. And he won't change anything.
Okay. Yeah. So make sure.
Oh, geez.
What is that too far, Mark? Should we not?
No. I cannot undo what's been done. So, at this point,
you know what?
Let's see what happens.
Let's put this on Erica. Erica, Mark and I both said this might be a little bit too far, but
sure.
If you want to follow through with this, that's fine.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right.
Tweet away.
Everybody for listening and get to work over on the Twitterverse. And we'll see you on Thursday.